on air, we're going to make fun of 80-year-old Jeff and spreadsheet Nick and giant hair Paul.
You've never said that before.
I just did. It just happened.
And now I'm going to be super self-conscious. Thank you.
All right, BeatiDudes, welcome to the bonus show with our friend John Cannon. My name is Jeff Shufflebein. Welcome to the BeatiDudes. I'm joined by co-host Nick Besner.
What's going on?
And Paul Kolker.
Hello.
And I've been trying to go up on both your names because one time I introduced Nick as Nick Besner, and I was like, that is not nice. So
I felt that.
I know. I'm cheering for
rude.
you, bro.
How rude.
You know what's funny is this is actually a good point to make. When we talk about this show is a show for Christian men seeking authentic fraternity, trying to grow in holiness, and we combine humor and holiness and wit and wisdom. But when we were mapping out this whole show and we were kind of coming up with the whole brainstorm, one of the things that we knew was on air, we're going to make fun of 80-year-old Jeff and spreadsheet Nick and giant hair Paul.
You've never said that before.
I just did. It just happened.
And now I'm going to be super self-conscious. Thank you.
But the reason I bring it up is because we also had a rule, which was this is all done in love and friendship, and that at the end of the day, this actually isn't about trying to hurt somebody's feelings, that we're always going to connect back to the fact that we are so blessed to be together, to even have a platform like this where we can pray for the Holy Spirit to work through us. And speaking of the Holy Spirit, we had a show with John that we did, our opening show with John Cannon from Sent Ventures, and every single episode of our shows ends differently than any other show that we've ever done. It's called Reverse Simpsons. So they do it differently at the beginning. We do it different at the end. And we did the last show differently. We completely forgot to do Reverse Simpsons.
Which counts. It counts. It
It
counts.
must be my 80-year-old brain.
Take your Metamucil.
I'll add it to the checklist.
Okay, so you're going to get a treat at the end of this bonus episode, but welcome back to the show, John Cannon from Sent Ventures. How are you, brother?
Doing awesome. Good to be here.
Yeah, you can say praise be to God.
Praise
Absolutely.
God. Well, I was going to say, yeah, I don't know what I was going to say, but yeah.
Hey, when you're a BeatiDude, just bask in it, bro.
I know.
Hey, listen, Sent Ventures is an organization that helps. I liked the words you used. It was Catholic entrepreneurs, but it was also builders. Because not all of us are entrepreneurs. We might just be builders with deep faith or a desire for a deeper faith from every single type of industry, right? You can go healthcare, financial, you can go people in nonprofits or even in the religious world of an order or a diocese. What's fascinating to me is we finally have really good literature out there about the social teachings of the church for the business leader. That could be some of these books. I'm reading True Leadership right now, which is an incredible one. The Vocation of the Business Leader, the papal document. But it's really kind of challenging people to say, oh, these principles should exist in every organization. They lead, well, really to a dignified way of a worker approaching their work. They glorify God. But at the end of the day, they also create organizations that lead to human formation and human thriving. So common good and subsidiarity and solidarity and justice and just wages. And we can talk about those. But John, have you noticed in your work, let me just put it this way. We know that the secular world needs a good dose of this. Do you see it also in the Catholic world that we need a dose of our own medicine?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think that, so a lot of the groups that we work with, they're newer and, they probably started in the past, I'd say 5 to 10 years or so. And I have noticed that there is a little bit, there's a subset of the groups that we work with that are more ministry oriented. And I think there's been an emphasis in those groups to really try to more fully integrate the teachings of the church with respect to how to run and lead organizations into their practices. And I think part of that is a reaction to that they're, some people who go to work, in different nonprofits or church groups, and it's not just in the Catholic space; it's in
Sure.
other places too that may not be able to be. They operate kind of lean, and they may not be able to. They want to have some kids. They may not be able to put them through college or whatever else because that opportunity is not there financially, or they may not have ownership that they really desire in their job. And so a lot of the groups that we work with, I think, react against that and really try to be able to compensate their employees well so that they can have, to be able to stay with them over a period of time and also, have some ownership of how they do things. So a lot of groups we work with, I think, are moving the other direction, but, it is as part of the beauty of our church is that in the Catholic space, in the faith, is that it's just so rich and comprehensive that they're even applying the theology and spiritual principles and how to live well in corporate or organizational settings. So that's something that can be very helpful for business leaders, and we try to help.
I feel like that's like the greatest commercial for Sent Ventures, that you're less like, you have a high density of people who are operating this way, and some of them
seeking to, I would say, desiring that and recognizing it. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you got people that are almost like trying to escape the fact that they work for places they care about greatly, their parish, their diocese, their nonprofit, even their secular nonprofit, whatever it is, and they get these statements that we don't need to worry about paying you, we don't need to worry about appreciating you, because what you're doing is blank. It's for the Lord, it's for the cause.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So as someone who was in religious life for
a number of years,
over 7 of them. It's a holy number, so it's okay.
There you go.
Prime.
Yeah. And prime, yeah.
Well played.
Yeah. It's interesting. You take vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, and so I got $20 a month allowance that allowed me to get socks, basically, or a book. That was, I didn't own anything, and I did everything. I cleaned a lot of toilets. I did whatever I was asked of me, and I did it. The goal was to do it joyfully and not really seeking anything in return. And it was a spiritual discipline and exercise. And so, if you have that mindset, and I think a lot of the Catholic schools that have been run historically, not as much anymore, by priests and religious as well as dioceses. That's part of the culture of the leadership, and there's a spiritual good in that. So that can trickle down in other cases where I think people are less. Maybe less able to, they're not making necessarily vows or promises of obedience. And so, may need more affirmation or support or empowerment in how they're doing things. And also realistically, from a practical standpoint, financially, to be able to care for their families. And so I think sometimes that disconnect, I saw it in myself when I discerned out, I saw that in myself, because your mindset kind of shifts a little bit in that environment.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great way of capturing it too, because, if you go back 60, 70 years, that was, the schools were run by nuns and priests, and so it was just a religious order doing their duty, essentially, their religious duty of taking care of this next generation of kids and raising them in the faith. And and so then the transition, though, happened very slowly. Well, maybe a little quickly, I guess, in the post-Vatican II. There was some shake-up stuff that happened in there, but kind of a turbulent time. But at the same time, that culture of obedience and just kind of, hey, offer it up or do it for the Lord, and not, oh, well, let's make sure you're well taken care of so that you can also enjoy time with your kids or whatever it is outside of work.
Speaking of offering it up, dignity and transitions, I would love to play a game with John.
You're so good at transitions.
I am. So John, you're going to be playing our game. Nick, what game is this?
This is Blessed Are the Joke Makers. So, for they shall inherit the points.
And this, Nick's going to figure out how many points this one is worth.
Oh, this one's worth 72.
Oh my goodness.
Big one.
It's good.
John, we can really take the lead over you if, actually you don't have any points, but Paul does.
It's anybody's game.
That's the neat thing about the bonus. It's like a bonus.
It's always worth more points.
It's a lightning round, yeah.
You set the peg in the original.
All right. Well, so again, this is we've got a character card and a question, and you've got to answer the question or fill in the blank as the character.
And we pulled out some Catholic questions in these latest rounds, so this gets pretty interesting. Especially, I don't know, maybe you did a lot of research projects on this. We'll see.
Love me some research.
If you did a research project on this character card, I'm going to be very impressed. And I don't even know what it is yet.
As Saint Therese of Lisieux. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Actually, interesting, as a fire and brimstone evangelical preacher.
Nope, we're not.
Thank you. Sometimes we do have to filter. Read it.
Blank led me to blank.
The Lord led me to Jesus.
Such a natural way to get there.
The fear of hell led me to stop sinning.
The spicy barbecue led me to get down on my knees.
TBD.
Yes.
No. We can play through. We can play through. Yeah.
All right.
This religious revival has led me to take up the bottle again.
He threw a curveball in there. I didn't see that
I did
coming.
not see that coming. That was
I
great.
think
All
you
right.
might have gotten all 72 points there.
Yeah, listen,
You
congratulations.
just always let the guests win. I know.
We've sometimes let the guest lose, but John, you win. Congratulations
Thank
to
you,
you.
thank you.
We're very proud of you. You got socks. You got 72 points. Things are looking up for you.
Successful trip to Dallas.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
My goodness.
Can I cash them in?
Yes.
Yes.
But inflation.
How?
Hey, if you give me those points, I'll give you a sticker.
Nice.
I haven't given them to you. No, shit. I feel taken advantage of. No.
Ooh.
Hey, now.
So
Hey,
many,
y'all.
So many layers.
Oh, I know. So listen, if you want to check out Scent Ventures, go to scentventures.com. Let's talk real quickly. There's a couple different ways that people can get involved. I know that you just had the big summit. That's an annual thing, correct?
That's the plan.
What's the other ways that people can get involved in it as well?
Yeah, please check us out on LinkedIn or Instagram. Follow us, Scent Ventures. Check out our website. If you are an entrepreneur, you run a company or organization, or even in a leadership position, and you care about your faith and building that into it, check us out. We'd love to find a way to serve you, potentially join our community, scentventures.com.
John, let me tell you a story because you mentioned LinkedIn. I'm not joking when I tell you this. LinkedIn has become a bit of an apostolate for me. And when I was at your summit, when I was at the Young Catholic Professionals big annual conference this past weekend, it was so fascinating to see people who sought me out because of the LinkedIn content. And all I'm doing is speaking about the same stuff we're talking about right here, but I'm doing it publicly, right? It's a honest, vulnerable approach to trying to lead good business, trying to put, God before my wife and wife before kids and prioritize my life and deal with my shortcomings. And it is pretty wild to watch what's happening. So I do think people should connect on LinkedIn. I think that I would encourage anybody who has something to share or a story to share. Let's take back over some of these airwaves, or these digital airwaves, with the content that people are actually thirsty for, hungry for. So thank you for mentioning that. Hey, so we mentioned at the beginning of the show we're going to do Reverse Simpsons now, and we didn't give you any heads up. So, John, good luck. Paul, why don't you introduce this game?
More beads of
this
sweat.
comes from the improv background professionalism of Paul, who performs with multiple troops, including 4-Day Weekend in Dallas.
That's correct. Yes. Okay. So this is a little game. I'll get to it in just a sec. We know that in the church we have lots of doctors of the church, and so those are people who know a lot about the faith, right? It's a very particular title that's granted to certain saints. St. Therese of Lisieux is actually one of them, and St. Thomas Aquinas a lot of people know about. So we're going to play a game called Dr. Know-It-All. And so the way this works is we have to answer a question.
Wait, is it Doctor of the Church Know-It-All?
Doctor of the Church Know-It-All.
Okay,
Yes, perfect. Yes.
That's awesome.
So it's one word at a time that we have.
See, I got
You're way ahead of me. Okay. So so we have to answer a question going around, and we'll end when we feel like it ends, and then I'll maybe try to justify whatever we came up with. So
that's the real improv.
That's where the magic
what
happens.
Doctor of the Church Know-It-All said really tied it all together.
This does not have an imprimatur, and this is non-magisterial. Just to be very clear.
We may just delete it.
Yeah, we might. All right.
What's the question?
The question is, would we be so quick to cut down trees if they could scream?
We
Would
Not
Necessarily.
be
so
quick.
But
when
they
Scream.
we
also
gag
A lot.
period.
it makes us sick, and so we just cut them down anyway.
You know what I like about the doctors of the church? One thing that they always kind of signaled to us was when they were done talking.
Yeah. Period.
Period. Comma.
Okay.
Thank you for calling me a doctor of the church, I think is what you
Yeah.
just said there, Jeff.
Yeah, it's official.
It's the glasses.
We're gonna do one more quick question. Here we go. Ready? Here we go.
Same order.
Yes, same order. How many angels can dance on the head of a pen?
There,
are
So,
Many.
angels
that
like,
2.
dance.
and
play.
Games.
So,
they
Dance.
Around.
in
the
Pin.
that's it. Yes.
Period.
That is the location, the preferred location of dancing for angels. And we all know they love to dance.
it's one of those perpetual questions that just can't be answered
No,
because
that's
they're always dancing. So how are you even going to count?
I've been
That's right.
contemplating that one for a while.
7 years probably.
At
A
least.
number of. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Doctor of the Church, know it all.
Yes.
And like maybe this will make a repeat appearance sometime, but it just won't be at the end of a show because that's how this show rolls.
That's right.
Yeah.
John Cannon, thank you for being in town from Washington, D.C. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
John, you're setting the world on fire through entrepreneurship. You're training future saints, and you left probably the most predictable life to come and be one, like us.
To be one of us.
To be a BeatiDude. Yeah, exactly. Again, look it up at centventures.com. This is an incredible apostolate. We love you, buddy. We're supporting you. We're actually joining Cent Ventures. I want to just drop that for you right now.
Nice.
I'm meeting with one of your people this week to talk about details.
Details.
I'm getting very... It's a little British.
That's how you know you're serious.
Oh, yeah.
How do cats keep their balance?
Oh,
Details.
we have to go. All right. You and all your feline friends will see you in the Eucharist. God bless.
This podcast is part of the Spoke Street Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.